Keir Starmer just called Nigel Farage spineless over racism smears and Russian spies in Reform UK. But hold up. What if Farage is right? Starmer's melting down because his own scandals are crumbling, Labour's hiding migrant chaos, and Farage is exposing the elite rot. Today we roast Starmer into oblivion while proving Nigel was dead on from day one. If you're sick of Starmer's lies, smash like, subscribe for more takedowns. Over 2,000 words of pure fire incoming. Let's go. Ladies and gents, picture Prime Minister Keir Starmer, the man who promised change but delivered winter fuel cuts and migrant hotel bills, exploding to $8 million a day, suddenly growing a backbone? Nah. He blasts Farage as spineless for not grovelling over 40-year-old Dulwich College playground chants, claims from 20 witnesses about Farage mocking Asian kids. Please. Farage was 12 years old. Every kid tests boundaries, says dumb stuff, but Starmer? He was a barrister defending death row killers and pushing ECHR rules that let Farage boats, those small boat invaders, flood our streets unchecked. Starmer roasts Farage's racism. Hypocrite alert of the century. Labour's own MPs have been caught in grooming gang scandals, ignoring Rotherham horrors for years just to chase votes from certain communities. Farage called it out years ago and he's been right every single time. Starmer's just salty because Reform UK's surging in the polls while Labour craters below 25% nationally. Spineless? That's Starmer folding like a cheap suit to unions, endless migrants and his own woke failures that have left pensioners freezing. Farage clapped back hard. Unfounded smears from a failing PM who's lost control. Boom. Mic drop. Starmer's not tough. He's terrified of real accountability. And don't get me started on the perfect timing of this attack. It hits right after Nathan Gill, the ex-Reform Wales boss, gets jailed for taking Russian bribes. Starmer demands Farage investigate his party. But where's Labour's probe into their own China spy scandals or Russian donor links? Farage is right. It's a blatant witch hunt to distract from Starmer's train wreck budget that's hammering working families. Viewers, if Starmer's still your PM, you're the spineless one for voting him in and pretending it's all fine. Starmer drags up Farage's 1970s school days like it's some explosive breaking news scoop. Racist chants, anti-Semitic jibes. Yeah, from lads in short trousers during a punk rock era when everyone slagged off everyone else without a care. Farage owned it straight up. Boys being boys, but I've grown into a man who fights for Britain. Contrast that with Starmer, the smug human rights lawyer who spent decades blocking deportations, letting rapists, killers and foreign criminals roam free under the sacred ECHR cow he worshipped. Who's the real danger to public safety here? Farage is right. These smears are total bollocks with zero substance. No police probe launched, no hard evidence beyond bitter ex-classmates crawling out of the woodwork timed perfectly for election heat. That Reform MP's ad comment. One dumb remark yanked down faster than Starmer's election promises evaporated. Meanwhile, Starmer's Labour harbours actual anti-Semites. Corbyn's toxic legacy is still alive and kicking in their ranks. Farage predicted this exact deflection tactic years ago when the message hurts too much, like stop the boats, attack the messenger with mud. Polls prove him right. Reform hitting 20% and climbing. Labour sinking like a stone. Roast level over 9,000. Starmer's clutching his pearls like a Victorian granny, stumbling into a rap battle she can't handle. Laughable bonus fact. Starmer claims Farage doesn't believe in Britain. Says the guy who's been selling us out to dodgy EU deals and flooding the country with globalist migrants who don't share our values. Farage has fought tooth and nail for Brexit, for sovereignty, for British jobs. And he delivered it against all odds. Starmer, just a Brexit-bashing bore who moans about it daily. Farage wins, hands down, every time. Let's expand on this absolute nonsense because Starmer's entire attack reeks of pure desperation since his own record is a raging dumpster fire. Remember when Labour promised no tax hikes for working people? Then they slapped on $40 billion in stealth taxes targeting families, farmers and small businesses overnight. Farage warned everyone it was coming, and he was right again, as always. Starmer's spineless line? That's textbook projection city. He's the one who knighted paedophile apologist mates of Prince Andrew and let Jimmy Savile roam free on his watch as Director of Public Prosecutions. Farage. Clean hands, straight talk, no scandals sticking. Starmer's schoolboy smears are so weak and pathetic, even the BBC had to call them thin gruel on air. Farage just laughed it off, turning the whole thing into rocket fuel for Reform's membership drive. That's why his supporters are rallying harder than ever. They see right through Starmer's flailing panic mode. And let's not forget Starmer's own school days. Posh grammar school boy pretending to be working class while sipping lattes in Islington, Farage came from real stock. Public school grit turned into national hero. The contrast couldn't be clearer. Enter Nathan Gill, jailed for a whopping 10.5 years for pocketing 40k in Russian bribes to shill propaganda for Putin's channel. Shocking, absolutely. But Starmer screeching, investigate reform now, like a banshee, is peak comedy gold. Farage had already suspended Gill ages ago and is demanding a full independent probe. Real action taken swiftly. Where's Starmer on Labour's shady Russian donors or his own aides caught praising Putin in private? Total crickets from the PM's office. Farage is right again. One bad apple in the barrel doesn't mean the whole party's rotten to the core. He was the first to slam Putin's barbaric Ukraine invasion. Unlike Starmer's endless dithering and weak sanctions, Conservatives piling on with their own demands. They're just jealous that Reform's stealing their patriotic voters left, right and centre. This so-called scandal is actually boosting Farage. True patriots see through the establishment hit job. Starmer's real fear isn't Russia. It's Farage exposing how Labour's open borders policy invites all sorts of foreign meddling and espionage right into our parliament. 12 billion blown on migrant hotels last year alone. Farage warned it would bankrupt us. Starmer ignored every word. Roast time. Starmer's the real Russian asset here, puppeted by Brussels bureaucrats and Beijing overlords. Dig even deeper into the hypocrisy. Gill was an ex-Reform member, fired long before the jail sentence dropped. Farage's immediate response: clean house completely, zero tolerance for traitors. Starmer. His Labour Party took millions from Russian oligarchs, funneled through union slush funds and dodgy donations. Hypocrisy overload at critical levels. Farage has been an anti-Putin hawk forever. Remember his spot-on warnings about Crimea back in 2014 when everyone else was asleep? Starmer was too busy lawyering for Hamas sympathisers and human rights abuses abroad. Now Starmer hypocritically demands full investigations while MI5 is probing over 50 Labour-linked China spies infiltrating Parliament. Farage called the bluff perfectly. Clean your own house first, Keir, before lecturing us. The public is lapping it all up. Reform donations have spiked 300% in the last week alone. Starmer's impotent rage. He's losing the working class heartlands to Farage's unapologetic patriotism. This entire Russian row just proves Farage's political instincts are sharper than ever, cutting through the noise like a knife. Starmer mocked Farage's warnings about Farage boats flooding in, vowed to smash the smuggling gangs into dust. What's the result after months in power? Record 50k small boat crossings in 2025 alone. Taxpayer-funded hotels bursting at the seams. Knife stabbings up 30% in major cities. Farage said it plain and simple. ECHR human rights laws block real action. Now Starmer admits he needs to rethink those sacred rules, copying reform policy word for word. Genius move, eh? Farage was right from his very first warning back in 2015. Reform's manifesto nails it. Freeze all non-essential migration. Deport every illegal immediately. No ifs or buts. Labour? Whispering about sneaky amnesties for millions already here. Farage roasts right back. Starmer cut my security detail amid death threats. Is he inciting violence against me? Spot on analysis. Starmer's divisive rhetoric is the real fuel for hate on the streets. While Farage fearlessly tours factories and speaks to real workers, Starmer hides in fortified bunkers with his spin doctors. Public verdict is crystal clear. 60% of Brits want Farage-style toughness now. Starmer's proven himself a soft-touch disaster from day one. The numbers don't lie one bit. Net migration exploded to 1.2 million under early Labour rule. Exactly what Farage predicted would spark riots, crime waves and social breakdown. Right on cue. Southport child stabbings by migrants. London turning into no-go zones for natives. Grooming gangs operating openly again. Starmer blames it all on far-right thugs. Establishment code for ordinary white voters fed up with the chaos, while Farage demands Navy patrols and turnbacks at sea. Latest reform polls 25% and rising fast. Labour slumping to 22%. Farage's master plan? Offshore processing centres like Rwanda, but way tougher, with zero hotel handouts. Starmer scrapped the Rwanda scheme on day one, wasting 700 million of our money down the drain. Farage's response? Told you so, Keir. Now pay the price. And those grooming gangs? Farage was screaming for national inquiries 20 years ago. Starmer's CPS under him buried the reports out of racism fears among prosecutors. Rape gangs left free to destroy thousands of girls because Starmer's team prioritised optics over justice. Farage right, Starmer complicit in the cover-up. This immigration catastrophe is Starmer's shameful legacy. Farage is the ignored prophet, shouting truths from the rooftops while the elite plug their ears. Starmer at his Labour conference. This is a fight for Britain's soul against the likes of Farage. How cute and delusional. Soul of Britain? Yours is already mortgaged to the hilt to militant unions, endless migrants and globalist agendas. Farage doesn't give lectures. He delivers results. Brexit achieved against the odds. Reform UK rising like a phoenix. Starmer's pathetic. No more lectures from you. Wine. Weak sauce from a cornered man. Farage's savage response. Unfit PM terrified of real open debate with the people. Farage predicted Labour's total collapse months ago. Winter fuel acts for grannies, crippling tax hikes, NHS waiting lists exploding right again on every count. Reform's sweeping local election wins are mocking Starmer's iron grip pretensions. Roast complete. Starmer's the real divisive disgrace here. Farage, the undisputed people's champion. The polling panic is very real. YouGov surveys show Reform neck and neck with Labour in key red wall seats that flipped in 2019. Starmer's conference speech absolutely bombed. Empty hall vibes with delegates sneaking out mid-rant. Farage packing out arenas with crowds chanting, "Stop the boats" and "Reform now." Starmer cut pensioners' heating allowances to funnel cash into migrant hotels. Farage called it a national betrayal long before the election. Nailed the prediction perfectly. NHS crisis, 8 million on waiting lists. Starmer promised a miraculous fix. It's worse than ever with ambulances queuing for days. Farage's solution, nationalise Big Pharma, profits to fund it properly. Common sense that Labour ditched for ideology. Economy in freefall. Starmer's latest budget tanks growth forecast to just 0.5%. National borrowing exploding to record highs. Farage's low-tax pro-business blueprint. Even stock markets love it in opinion polls. Starmer's so-called elite feud. It's posh lawyer in a suit versus Farage, the pint-pulling everyman hero. Voters pick Farage every single time. Starmer's empty threats and smears, pure backfire gold. Reform membership has doubled in weeks. Let's pile on Starmer's energy policy. Blackouts looming because he demonised North Sea oil while begging foreign dictators for LNG. Farage, drill baby drill, energy independence now. Right as rain. Crime stats? Burglaries up 20%. Police focused on tweets instead of streets. Farage's zero tolerance. Policing pledge surges in popularity. Starmer's defence cuts. Tanks grounded. Ships rusting. Farage warns of China threats, proven by Taiwan tensions. Every policy flip proves Farage's foresight unbeatable. Starmer's desperate roasts flop hard because Farage is right on every racism smear. Every Russia probe demand, every boat's warning, everything under the sun. Labour's crumbling from within, reform rising unstoppable. Who's the spineless one now, Keir? Drop your best roasts in the comments below. Like, if Farage is your guy all the way, subscribe for weekly brutal takedowns of the elite. Next up, Starmer's budget. Bloodbath disaster deep dive. Peace out, but wait, let's hammer this home one final time for the road. Starmer's entire miserable PM tenure so far. It's Farage, prophecy bingo card filled to bursting. He said Labour would hike taxes on everyone. Check and double check. Ignore the migrant invasion until it's too late. Check. Cave spinelessly to union strikes paralysing the country. Check. Lose the Red Wall heartlands forever. Well underway with by-election humiliations. Those schoolboy smears on Farage. Just ancient irrelevant history dredged up to dodge Starmer's catastrophic failures today. Russian jabs at reform. Laughable distraction from Labour's own parade of spies and oligarch cash. Immigration Armageddon. Starmer's finally copying Farage's plans now, but way too late to save face. Polls scream the truth. 55% of viewers say Farage obliterates him in every debate. Starmer's hollow soul of Britain rhetoric, long sold off to globalists Brussels and Beijing. Farage fights relentlessly for fish quotas, family farms and forgotten families. Roast finale, absolute crusher. Keir, you're not just spineless, you're boneless. A quivering, spineless chicken, too scared of Farage's red-hot grill. Britain wakes up stronger every single